episode 2 of A Tale of Two Kobolds. I'm Jess.
I'm Hids.
And last month, you all got to meet Fizzz, my character. This month, I will be the DM, and we get to meet Bang.
Which is my character.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Yeah. So before we start that, I do want to recap a little bit. Not necessarily any of Fizz's adventure, because Bang doesn't know that. But if you didn't listen to episode 1, there are these two kobolds who got separated from each other. Fizz specifically got swept away in a river and separated from their whole adventuring party. And the first episode kind of dealt with the immediately after that and her sort of plan to get back. Meanwhile, Bang has been continuing with their party of tall people, and we're going to pick up with Bang leaving the group. But before we get into that, tell us about Bang.
Okay, Bang is a little rogue kobold. I'll describe him and then I'll talk about his class, I think. Yeah. He has dark, shimmery blue scales, and his ears are kind of big and round at the bottom. They're kind of like, instead of being narrow ears, they're big round ears.
Like floppy?
Yeah, big floppy ears that kind of droop down. And then he has big expressive eyes. He's really very small. He's just about 2 feet tall and very slight in build. He's kind of well aware that kobolds often seem as troublesome creatures and low intelligence, you know, the kind of trope of D&D.
Yeah.
But he has taken pains to kind of educate himself, and he'll kind of speak slower and enunciate and he tries to fit in with whatever group he's around. So if he's around like an educated group, he'll use bigger words and talk slower. But if he's just hanging out, like in a tavern or something, or around a campfire and everybody's just kind of relaxed, he just kind of slips into just real casual speech patterns. He kind of just blends in instead of like trying to make a scene about being a kobold or whatever. So
yeah.
There's more like little personality traits that I think I wrote on my character sheet. Let me go look at this. He's real calm and friendly, and definitely is more like, how can I get out of this situation without fighting? Because he knows, like, he's at a disadvantage because how small he is.
Yeah. But
he will fight if necessary, and he's a little fierce fighter. But he will always try to look for nonviolent ways out.
Okay. I think last month I talked a little bit about the actual build and the character sheet. Mm-hmm. I didn't go into like the stat numbers or anything. I think that's a perk that we're saving for our patrons. We'll share our character sheet with our patrons. Yeah. But if you want to talk more about the actual mechanic side of his build.
Okay. Yeah, he's a level 2 rogue. And my plan is to do the inquisitive rogue, because I feel like that fits his personality.
I like that.
Which in D&D, the inquisitive rogue kind of is more like investigative and not really thief or assassin type. They're more kind of like learning about their situation and using that to their advantage.
Yeah.
But I do leave room for character growth. So depending on where he's at when he's ready to make that decision in the level up process, I don't know. We'll see. I never plan my characters out like way far in advance.
Yeah.
Just kind of see what happens in story wise.
We're vibe
builders.
Levelers.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, he does it. He has a couple daggers and a little short bow, and just wears simple leather armor. He is very like Dex is his highest score, ability score.
Yeah, that's important for a rogue.
Yeah, and the rest are all just kind of.
But also, if you are new to D&D and might not know this, your Dex directly influences your AC, which stands for armor class. Mm-hmm. That's how easy you are to hit, or how hard you are to hit. The higher your Dex, the harder you are to hit, because you are better at dodging or whatever.
Yeah. He has an armor class of 14.
Okay.
And he currently has 18 little hit points.
Oh, it's so squishy.
We've been playing like higher level stuff in our games, and I'm like, oh, he's 18.
Going back to level 2 is
He's so
rough.
squishy. Low armor class. Like,
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. But yeah, he's just your kind of going to be your basic. He's got basic adventuring gear, and I think we said we gave everybody one, or we gave them both a potion of healing, and a handful of gold or something. Since that's how they've been on their little adventuring.
Something.
Yeah. I think that is all right now, because like level 2, you don't really have a lot happening.
Yeah.
So yeah, my goal is to do
characters.
My goal is to do the Inquisitive Rogue, but we'll see. We'll see, like I said, how it turns out.
Yeah. All right. So, Bang.
Yes.
You're sitting by yourself right now at a small campfire. It's your first night away from your group of tall people. And Jack, the fighter in your group, he's always the one that kind of looked after you. He didn't want you to go, but it seems like everybody else in the group understood why you wanted to. What would you have said to Jack to sort of convince him to not worry about you or whatever? You're an adult kobold, so he's not going to like stop you from going anywhere, but he tried to convince you not to go. So what would you have said?
Okay. Oh, I forgot to mention that when you said adult.
Oh, yeah. Let's talk about that.
Really quick. Kobolds are considered mature between 6 to 10 years of age and can set off on their own. Bang is 19. So he's a mature adult.
So, yeah, and I think Fizzz would actually be around the same age, because I think we haven't mentioned it on the podcast yet, but they were kind of in the same sort of clutch of eggs.
Yeah.
Oh, no, they weren't. But they're the same age.
They're the same. They were in the same like location tribe, I think, but they weren't. Yeah, they weren't born together. They're not related.
We still haven't actually fleshed out their actual backstories before they met up with the adventurers, but that's something we can come up with and reveal as little bits of as this adventure goes along. But yeah, we realized that I never mentioned anything about kobold ages, and so you looked into that, and I think Fizz is probably around the same age.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, because they're friends.
Yeah.
Okay. Back to Insane.
So Jack doesn't want you to go.
Jack, I'm not with Jack. I have left the party. Right. This is just kind of
this is a sort of flashback.
Okay,
We're kind of setting the mood here for Bang.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
So Jack was the one in the party who kind of accepted us in as Kobold Adventures. Kind of took the chance with us.
Yeah.
And so Bang really appreciated that with him and has a feeling of loyalty to Jack, which is why after the initial search for Fizzz, the party went on after they did their search and couldn't find her, and Bang stayed with the party. But it kind of bothered him more and more that he didn't do more to find Fizzz, because she's kind of his best friend. So,
and there's that lack of closure.
I don't know.
She can't really be dead because we didn't find a body. So
we didn't find her, so she's somewhere. But there was the loyalty to Jack as well, because Jack had, taken a chance with 2 little kobolds in a world that people don't really do that, So I think Bang went along with that, and then it just bothered him more and more. And he approached Jack with that, and they had some conversations. And I think what he would have said that might have kind of kicked it would, got Jack on his side with leaving would have been that Fizzz was his oldest friend, and it didn't feel right. It didn't sit with him well that he felt like he had abandoned her.
Yeah.
And he would be clear that was not, he didn't think the whole group as a whole had abandoned her, but he just felt like he could do more. He didn't want to pull the whole party away from their goals, because they were already on this trek when the kobolds joined them. Mm-hmm. So I think it would be a matter of just I got this. I can go find my friend, plus I could be quicker moving around faster, not having to worry about a whole party of people, and then they could continue on their journey. And he's like, it's fine, I'm gonna go down. She probably just swept downriver a little bit, and she's making her way back here. We'll find you. I'll find her, and then we'll come find you, and we'll be we'll catch up. It'll be great.
Okay. Yeah.
So, yeah.
And I think the playing to the loyalty side of thing, because we haven't really fleshed out any of the tall people yet as far as their personalities and their character. But I think Jack sort of being the unspoken leader of the group.
I think he's the fighter, and I think he is
he has that sort of protective vibe.
Helping make, if everybody's trying to figure out something, he'll kind of just be like, all right, here's the pros and cons, let's make a decision and not just keep sitting here. So,
yeah. So I think he understands loyalty, he understands all of that, so he was probably more comfortable with it. So I think Jack, before Bang leaves, he will gift a dagger.
Oh.
And this is a +1 magical dagger.
Oh, a +1. Oh my goodness.
And it might be the only magic item that you possess.
It is probably the only magic item that Bang has ever possessed.
I guess with the exception of the potions, but those are those are consumables, one and done.
Yeah. Oh, that's his. I was looking at the character. I just typed in danger instead of dagger. Danger.
A +1 danger. Oh no.
I was looking at the character sheet in the background and stuff, and it's like treasured possession, and I'm like, I don't really know. This dagger is now his treasured possession.
Aw.
It's the first magical thing he's ever owned, and coming from Jack, I think that's a big.
And I think now, like the whole group, knowing that Bang is better equipped to handle being by himself now, they'll be comfortable with letting him go, and they'll continue on their journey to find, whatever big magical item that they were looking for. That the kobolds themselves might not know much about. I don't know. Fizzz definitely probably wasn't paying attention to any of those little planning meetings.
Yeah, I think Bang might have listened in, but he's here more to learn and explore the world.
Yeah,
and kind of do that.
Let the tall people handle
the
logistics.
Yeah, and I can sneak in somewhere if you need me to, like that type of thing. So
so you're here, sitting alone by this campfire now, messing with your little new dagger, getting some practice in with it. What are you thinking? What's your plan?
Okay, campfire. Is it nighttime?
It is nighttime. This is the first night away from your tall people.
This is like I've traveled a day back towards the bridge. I think we said we were a couple days away.
You were probably a few days away, maybe 3 or 4 days away.
Okay.
And so you are now, I don't know at what point or what time of day you parted with your group. We can say it was in the morning.
Yeah, I think he would have left pretty early instead of traveling on and getting further away.
Yeah. So you are now a day's travel closer to the bridge where you lost Fizzz.
Ooh, so I think
still, we'll say 3 days away.
Okay, still a distance away. So, I think he's been practicing with his dagger. I think the day was spent just moving and like, okay, I'm on my way. I'm going back. I'm gonna find my friend. And now he's sitting here alone in the big world. This is probably the first time he's been like alone. Like he did some traveling on the island where they're from and camped out and stuff, but that was home island, that was familiar.
Kind of an isolated place.
Yeah, and this is his first time alone. So I think like it's kind of settling in that he's like, oh, I'm very small and I'm very alone.
And I think also as you traveled, you realized that for some reason, you're not able to cover the same amount of distance as you did with the tall people.
Yeah.
Because you are small and you are traveling alone. It seems like being with the tall people kind of encouraged you to keep up.
Yeah.
Not that they were like wearing you out and whatever. They're very considerate of the kobolds. But I think it might just, maybe it's all in your head, but it seems like it is going a little bit slower.
For sure. So I think he's just there kind of thinking about, okay, well, I have to keep watch for myself during the night and make sure I also get enough sleep. And maybe, I think he might set up a few little things around his camp to kind of like make sounds if something gets too close.
Okay.
I think that, and spend some time doing that, and then make a little nest, kind of maybe at the base of a tree or something that he can kind of hunker down in for the night.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think
That's
he's
good.
finally realizing oh crap, I'm alone.
Yeah. So what kind of noise-making devices or traps would you set up? Is Bang a trinket collector? Like, do you have like little scraps of metal that you can string together to make little noise makers? Or are you doing the tripwire thing, or just maybe scrunching up some leaves sort of around a perimeter?
I think I'm looking to see what kind of stuff comes in his adventuring gear pack. And he does have some rope and string and a little bell.
Oh.
So I think he might kind of do it down low like a rope low around the perimeter.
Mm-hmm.
It's a 50 feet of rope. So he
Okay.
would just kind of make a little perimeter, and then somewhere along that rope, put that little bell, and then kind of put leaves and stuff to hide it. So something coming through would hit that rope and then
Ring
the bell. Yeah.
Okay. That's clever.
Thanks. My brain just came up with that just
Yay.
now. So yeah, that I think would make him feel a little more secure about getting a night's sleep.
Okay. And you get a night's sleep. I'm not going to throw anything at you the Bang's first night away. Yeah, that seems to work just fine. There were a couple times during the night where you did hear sort of the soft ringing of the bell, and you wake up and you see like a rabbit or, various other small forest animals, like nothing to be worried about, nothing threatening. But you do get a full night's sleep. You wake up the next morning and, you've got 3 days of travel ahead of you. So I want to know, we're sprinkling a lot of flavor in here before we get to the actual good stuff. But
I love it.
I kind of want to know how Bang is traveling. So you're on foot, yes, but are you like going as fast as you can? Are you doing like spurts of fast walking or even running? That seems like it would be a little counterintuitive because you'd have to rest. Does Bang get distracted a lot? Like how is he continuing, or is he just like single-mindedly traveling on this road?
Okay, I'm gonna make this decision that Bang does not have ADHD.
Okay,
that the majority of my characters do have. Yeah, it would be a disaster if both kobolds had ADHD. I think he's done some camping and exploring and stuff around the island before, so he is not pushing himself to move as fast as he can.
Okay.
He's moving steadily, but thinking about conserving energy because he's got several days and every night might not be a full night's rest. He's aware of that.
Mm-hmm.
And he's also never been in this area before. They're up in these high mountains I think it's called the Urso Range.
Yeah.
He is kind of like looking at things. And I think if he sees something that kind of piques his interest, like maybe a different type of mushroom or a different type of tree he's never seen, because the island is more tropical, I think he may stop and kind of pull out his notes and make a little note about that.
Okay.
Just to kind of learn, maybe if he's curious, like, is this edible? Or I don't think he would. He does a little bit of sketching. That's just a character thing I like to give my characters
a lot of your
to.
characters can sketch.
But yeah, he does a little bit. So like he might do some rough little sketches of if he sees something that's very interesting or that. But in general, he's probably doing that like at lunch or when he stops for a break.
Okay.
He'll kind of really examine the area around him. But moving just at a steady pace. Not too slow, not dawdling, but not running.
Yeah. Okay. Very goal oriented.
Yeah.
I like that.
Unlike myself.
Okay, so you travel another full day. You are 2 days away from the bridge now. This time, evening starts to fall. you're looking for a place to camp, and normally in D&D this is where you would roll maybe a survival check to see if you can find a good place, but we're not going to do that. Instead, I'm going to have you roll a perception check.
Perception. Oh, it's been a while. 15. Perception. That's a dirty 20.
Oh, nice. Okay, so you stop and start looking for a place, and almost immediately you see the glow of another campfire sort of further tucked away. You could probably surmise that it is another traveler on the road.
Okay. Oh, that's what I want to ask. Is this more like a trail or is this like a traveled road?
It's a traveled road. I think the group of tall people left the bridge, and that was obviously on a road. Mm-hmm. And so I think right now, as you go up the Urso mountain range, you're still sort of on a well-traveled road.
Okay.
As the party continues, they will eventually branch off and go find what they're looking for. But I think for right now, Bang is still on a well-traveled road.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I like that. Okay.
So not uncommon to see travelers.
Okay. I think I noticed this glow. I'm curious.
With that dirty 20, you can smell food cooking as well.
Oh, man. Okay. I think I'm going to try to kind of scout out, like, quietly because, like, if it's a big group, he might not approach.
Okay.
Depending on what they look like. If it's bandits, because we ran into some bandits, they caused the whole problem. If it's those bandits, he's going to try to skirt around.
Yeah. Okay.
But if it just looks like a traveler, he may cautiously approach.
Okay. Go ahead and roll stealth as you approach. And this is we'll say it's about 50 feet off the road.
Okay.
Like you just see the glow of the campfire and smell the food right now.
Okay. That is a 16.
A 16. All right. That is a lot better than I rolled for perception because I rolled a 4 on the die.
Oh.
So yeah, you are able to get pretty close to this campsite. The first thing you see is a wagon, sort of like a canvas covered wagon.
Okay.
And it is sort of set away from the fire. Then you see a donkey nearby that's kind of, would you hobble a donkey or I don't know.
I mean, it would depend.
Yeah. I think this donkey knows her owner. She would stick around, but she's kind of grazing, munching on some grass that's in this little clearing here. And you see one old man sitting next to the campfire, and he's got something roasting on a spit.
Oh, it smells good.
Yeah. It's, you could probably tell it's rabbit.
Okay. I think, I've snuck close. I want to kind of maybe sneak back and then approach like the way I would notice that he came into this area, like a little path or whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm going to
definitely see wagon tracks.
I have a little lantern, and I don't need it because I have dark vision. So I think I'll light that lantern, and I'll just kind of walk towards his little campsite. Like
so just not trying to.
Yeah, I'm not trying to sneak up. I'm just like making my presence known with the lantern. And when I get kind of like, when you camp, there's kind of like this is our campsite, and it's kind of
there's like this
invisible zone.
Yeah,
I'll kind of come to the edge. Yeah,
it's a personal bubble.
A personal bubble. I'll kind of come to the edge of that and raise my lantern up so it kind of shines on me too, so you can see me, and I will say good evening. Oh wait, that's not how I talk. I forgot Bang's voice. Hang on.
Southern.
It's a slow. Good evening, traveler.
You see him tense slightly, but for someone traveling alone, he still seems very relaxed. And he turns and looks at you, and he kind of squints because you're just sort of at the edge of the campfire light, and the lantern is there, but it's it's not completely illuminating you.
Yeah, I'll once he like sees me or my presence, I'll kind of I'm keeping like the lantern up high, and my other hand is kind of away from me. Like I'm approaching carefully.
Yeah.
And I'll step a few feet in so he can see me a little more, and I'll kind of lower the lantern. I'm like not shining it in his eyes, but
I know.
I'll just kind of lower it. So I'm like, and I'll just kind of wait until he acknowledges me.
He says, "Hello, little one. Come, welcome. Are you alone?"
Okay. Yes, sir, I am.
Come, you can share my fire.
Oh, well, thank you very much. And I'll come up close and I'll douse the lantern and click it back on my pack. And
Oh. My name is Razul.
Razul. Well, my name's Bang. It's a pleasure to meet you.
He sort of looks you up and down, and he doesn't seem surprised to see a kobold.
Okay.
You can tell he's probably met kobolds before, and he says, not many kobolds where I come from, but I have seen a few on my travels.
Where do you come from?
I come from Dragon's Hearth, the desert.
Oh. I've heard of that, but I've never visited myself.
Right about then, the donkey shakes her head and you hear the little ears flapping. Razul laughs and says, "Oh, that's just Beta. She's my donkey."
Oh, Beta? That's a pretty name.
Come, sit.
Thank you, sir, and I'll go and sit down.
And what's a lone kobold doing traveling these woods?
Okay, you said I'm going to ask you said he seems just kind of casual. Can I am I getting a vibe like he is just a total chill traveler and not like...
You can roll insight if you want.
11.
All right. Yeah, with that roll, you're kind of taking a measure of him, and you don't really perceive any sort of, like, he's got a walking staff sort of sat near him.
Okay.
You clock a dagger strapped to his belt.
Is he like more traveling clothes? He's not like, there's not like, okay.
Yeah, he's not, he doesn't seem to be armored out or anything. He does appear to be from a warmer climate. He's kind of dressed in layers of sort of light, flowy material. He does have a thicker traveling cloak on because he is not in the desert anymore. He's, the nights can get a little chilly. Yeah, you don't really perceive anything like super magical about him.
Okay.
If that's what you were going for, like.
I think just going for kind of a vibe check, situational awareness type thing.
Yeah.
Like, I don't feel in any like he's trying to lure me in or anything like that.
Okay.
So,
Yeah. So vibes are, he is a completely chill traveler, and you look around, you get a closer look at the wagon now that you're here in the campsite. It doesn't seem like there's nothing really fancy about it that would really make a target for bandits. So like he's pretty chill in that, like, he doesn't consider himself to be a target.
Okay.
know?
Cool.
Yeah, he's just super relaxed and chill.
Okay. Well, I wasn't always alone. I was traveling with the group and ran into a little trouble over there at Grizzly Pass, downriver a bit, and got separated from a friend of mine, and we searched around a little bit and didn't find her, and my group needed to continue on, and that just kind of didn't sit right with me after a while, and I set off on my own to go find my friend.
Well, that is noble of you.
I don't know about noble. Just, she's my friend. I've known her all my life, and I just didn't feel right not doing the most thorough search I could.
I wish you luck. I'm on a little search of my own. I'm going down towards Grizzly Pass. Was this the voice I had a second ago?
Yeah.
No,
it's good. I like it.
Okay. I'm happy to give you a ride.
Well, I might take you up on that. It's I don't mind walking, but I bet that sweet little donkey moves a little faster than me on a good day.
She does.
I've got a bit of gold. I can pay my way if that's all right with you.
Gold won't be necessary, but perhaps you can help me search.
I mean, you're going to help me a little bit. I don't mind helping you. What are you looking for?
In the desert, we heard of a legend of a lotus plant that is incredibly magical and can bring an eternal supply of water wherever it's placed. My people in the desert, our underground aquifers are drying up, and we don't know why. I've been on this journey hoping to find this lotus, and stories say that there is one in the center of a lake in Grizzly Pass somewhere.
Oh,
That's what I'm searching for.
I mean, I can help you look. I don't want to get too far off course, but I mean, you're going to save me quite a bit of travel time. Do you know where the lake is, where you're supposed to look, or
No, that does complicate things.
That's kind of the way of adventuring I've learned.
I am willing to take you as far as the bridge. Hopefully I find what I'm looking for.
Well, unless there's been some work done, there's no bridge right there at the moment. That's kind of what happened. The group I was with were crossing that bridge, and bandits came along and took it out. We managed to get across, except for my friend. She fell there at the end and got swept away. And that's why I need to go find her. I can help you look for that lake a bit. My friend's pretty resourceful. As long as she's not, badly injured, I think she'll. As long as it doesn't take us too far off track, too many days out of the way, I'd be willing to help you. I mean, I've never seen I've heard about lotus flowers. I've read about them in books and stuff, but I've never seen one up close. That'd be something, especially a magical one like that.
Mm. Well, I do hope your friend is okay, and I hope that we find what we're looking for before we get to the bridge, especially if it's out.
Yeah, I mean, that'd be great. That kind of two birds, one stone sort of thing.
The two of you can keep chit-chatting. You'll find out more about his people in the desert. You and I have not actually fleshed out what that might be.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like, I don't know, is it too tropey to make desert people a little bit more nomadic?
I mean, I don't think so, because unless there's like an oasis type, they would stay there, but also like it would depend on water sources.
Yeah.
So I think they would kind of travel and I don't, so it could be like maybe slightly nomadic.
Yeah. I don't know.
Seasonally nomadic.
I know we do have a big city in the desert we made on the map.
Yeah. I need to give me a second.
So maybe he's sort of smaller community vibes that rely on these underground water sources. Yeah.
Yeah. That's more, it's kind of towards the coastal cliffs there.
Okay. So maybe he's from like that canyon
area. Yeah. Uh-huh. Okay. And we can drop a picture of the map on our Patreon.
Yeah.
JessandHids.com/Patreon.
So yeah, he kind of tells you about the desert landscape, because I don't think Bang's ever been to a desert before.
No.
And he will also ask about like the jungle. He is familiar that kobolds tend to originate from more tropical jungle areas.
Yeah, and
so
I
might
think
ask about that.
I think unless we play out this whole conversation, I think Bang would talk about where he's from, which is there are two islands. Actually, they're not far off the coast where this desert area kind of ends at the ocean. They're kind of set off, a little bit sailing trip away from the coast, but it's they're the Bloodstone Islands are what people call them, and Bang and Fizzz are from the Northern Island. Sorry, I'm trying to find my notes here. I'm like,
I don't even have that doc pulled up.
They are from the Northern Island, which we actually haven't named yet, but near a range of mountains called the Iron Peaks.
Oh yeah.
So I think these islands have kind of been used as kind of mining communities and stuff. But
yeah, I think we said they're very mineral rich.
Yeah. I'm looking at some of the names we've given, and like the Iron Peaks.
Yeah, Bloodstone.
Pyrite Cove.
Yeah.
That's like we've given them some kind of mineral-y names. But yeah, I think Bang would talk a little bit about where he's from and the islands in the tropical area and stuff. And I think he would be very interested in learning more about the desert. For sure, because it's a completely
probably,
different
vibe. Totally different. Like no water, sand just everywhere.
Yeah.
Razul will talk about just the beautiful sunsets, and when it rains, you get this just amazing vista of storm clouds and lightning, and he'll just describe just the beauty of the desert.
Yeah, I think Bang is all in. Listen to that. He's probably sitting there kind of, he's got big eyes anyway, the big kind of reptilian eyes, and they're open wide, and he's just, maybe his mouth open a little bit in awe of like, like
Razul, I'm making a character choice right now. Razul is definitely a storyteller. So
I love it.
He's getting animated with the gestures, and just, he's very good with words, which is something that Jess can't do right now. But yeah, maybe later we'll write a little Patreon perk. We'll have Razul tell some stories about the desert.
That. Okay.
Yeah.
I like that.
So yeah, you guys can share a meal and then bed down for the night. The next morning, the camp gets packed up into the wagon, and it's kind of it's small enough for one donkey to carry. Mm-hmm. So he doesn't have a whole lot of possessions, just mostly stuff to travel. He's got, food rations and, typical sort of traveling gear.
Okay.
And I think not even a tent. I think he just has been sleeping under the stars with some blankets and like a bedroll, whatever. But there is room for Bang to join him in the cart, and you make good
very
time.
Small.
Very small.
Very small.
Yeah. So yeah, Bita gets hooked up. Bita.
Thank
Bita,
you.
probably, now that I think about it. And Razul is Rasul.
S-U-L. I spelled it with the Z.
Yeah.
Okay, S-U-L.
You hear some, empty glass jars or whatever, formerly carried rations or water or something clinking in the back, and your travel is pretty pleasant. I imagine there's more stories being swapped.
For sure. Yeah, and Bang would definitely ask about, what it's like to live in the desert, and, he would be concerned too, like wondering why the water is drying up.
Razul, he is very concerned about that. And he'll mention again that nobody can really figure out why the water's drying up. It's kind of a mystery. And he's hoping that finding this lotus plant will enable them to have sort of an endless supply of water. They can either plant it in the aquifer or keep it with them in, a large container, a well, maybe. I don't know.
Okay.
He sort of doesn't really have a plan. He just knows that this thing exists, and he wants to take it back to the desert. Yeah. And I think as you travel, you see him take out, let's see, do I want to make it kind of like a dowsing rod kind of thing where you find water, or some sort of magical compass? I don't know.
I mean, if it's a dowsing rod, there's rivers, there's a lot of
water. There's a lot of water
so that
here.
might,
So,
maybe he tried that and it's like, okay, I'm getting
a lot of water.
Yeah, not helpful.
I do want to give him kind of something, a way of finding a sort of larger body of water.
I like the magical,
like a magical compass
thing.
Yeah,
something that detects maybe a concentration of water.
Yeah,
because I feel like desert life, you would have that, especially if you're kind of slightly nomadic and you're traveling.
And in a world where magic exists,
why not?
Yeah. Okay. So every once in a while, you see him pull out this compass and look around and kind of shake his head and put it back in his pocket.
Definitely going to ask about that.
Curious about it?
Yeah,
okay.
Maybe like, is that, we're following the road, but is that something different? Some other kind of compass?
Oh, yes. And he pulls out the compass again and hands it to Bang, and you can look. And it's definitely not pointing north. It's actually kind of, the Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah.
That compass, it's kind of going all over the place. And like every once in a while, it'll kind of point toward the water, but then kind of back, in some random direction or toward the river.
Okay.
And he'll explain, this is a water-seeking compass.
Oh.
The river is kind of throwing it off a little bit, but its purpose, it's been magically enchanted to point out large concentrations of water, and I'm hoping that this will help.
That is right handy.
It can detect large concentrations of water up to a mile away, so might not be helpful if we're more than a mile from a lake, but
yeah, I mean that would be, I guess, if it kind of, maybe if you moved away from the road and the river, you might get you a little bit better of a more
signal?
a true a signal. I don't know. We
Hold
would
it
know
up in the air.
You'd go up top of that mountain, hold it up higher. No, yeah, I could. That's pretty wild. I don't have a lot of experience with magical items and that sort of thing, but my friend Jack with the party gave me this magical dagger, and it's the first magical thing I've ever owned. I'm pretty excited about that, but that doesn't really help our conversation here. And I feel like Bing's, this compass is probably pretty big in his little hands, and he's holding it very carefully with both hands, kind of watching the needle. Does he notice like any, while he's holding it, is there any kind of shift, or is it still just kind of doing the random to the river and then off in different directions? Or
right now it is random. You've been traveling for about half the day.
Okay.
And Razul will suggest that we stop for lunch, and maybe if you'd like, you can go. Oh, I guess I could do this in my character voice. Okay. Take that compass if you want, and maybe walk around a little bit, spiral out from the road and see.
Are you sure about that? I mean, this has to be pretty valuable.
Oh, it is.
And you trust me?
You haven't given me a reason not to.
All right, yeah, I'll go look, and I'll come back, and if I see anything, and
I'll have lunch waiting.
All right. So yeah,
I'm kind of slipping into that southern accent.
I'll say a little mimicry.
I'll have lunch waiting.
All right. Nope. Okay, yeah. So I think Bing will hold this very carefully. Okay. I think maybe, does it have like is it just like, does it have like a chain or a loop or something?
There is, yeah. There's a little like twine.
Little twine. Okay, I think
twine
like
loop.
He'll put it around his neck,
okay,
and kind of tuck it under. He's got like a little bit of leather armor. He'll kind of tuck it so it's safe,
secure.
And then his hands are free.
On him, it might look like the Flavor Flav.
Yeah, the Flavor Flav.
Oh, no, it's not that big.
Okay. Yeah, boy. Yeah, and then he'll start kind of doing like a zigzag deeper into the woods, away in the opposite direction of the river.
Okay.
So I kind of picture this road follows the river for the most part. You know, the way mountain
it might
roads tend to.
Deviate from it a little bit. Just depending on like boulders or whatever.
Yeah,
but yeah. It's
okay.
It's following the road or the river.
Yeah. So I think he'll kind of move out into the forest here and kind of, watch, maybe move out like maybe 100, 200 feet away from the camp, and then check the compass again and see if it's changing, and then kind of do that again. He's not going to get too far out. He might go out like maybe take about 15 or 20 minutes out.
Okay.
And then if he finds anything, obviously kind of mark and note the surroundings and then come back in. But otherwise, just kind of, he'll definitely pay attention to surroundings because he doesn't want to get lost.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think just kind of.
I'm not going to make you roll for that. I think you're good directional.
And like the river's there, he can.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with like kobolds have a decent sense of smell, more so than a human.
Yeah.
So yeah. Okay.
Okay. So Bang, you kind of start doing this little zigzag search thing, and you check the compass a few times. And just when you're about to head back to the road, you decide to go a little further, maybe, a couple minutes more. And you check the compass, and at first it does kind of swivel a little bit, but then it kind of starts to slow down a little bit.
Uh-oh.
And it's going back and forth, but like smaller sort of degrees, I guess. Okay. And then it settles in a single direction, and it stays there. And it's a little further in the direction you're going, like generally toward the bridge area, but far, like, I don't actually know which direction we're traveling in the first place, but it's like
we're traveling kind of southwest.
Okay, you're going southwest. So we'll say that it's sort of pointing maybe due west.
Okay. When I get that kind of steady thing, I want to look ahead in that direction. Like does it elevate, or is there like maybe if I look further, keeping in mind that I'm very small and we're in the forest.
Yeah.
So if I kind of look up, do I see like maybe an area where the trees are like the tops of the trees clear? I don't know if that would be something I could tell.
Yeah, it's difficult to tell. It is kind of heavier forestation the further away you get from the road. So for sure that the wagon wouldn't be able to come here.
Okay.
It's not elevated. You can tell that like there's no like rise in the trees.
Can I attempt to climb, like find a tree and climb it and see if I could kind of get higher, a better view?
Yeah, you can look around, and I mean, trees are plentiful. You can easily find one that you can get a boost up on and climb up.
Okay. Get my little claws.
Yeah.
Get my little claws out. All right.
Athletics check?
Athletics, okay.
Yeah. Go ahead and make it at advantage because kobold and claws.
Oh, okay. Oh, yay.
Yeah.
Okay. 15 and a 17. So that gives me a 19 total.
Okay. Yeah, you can easily make it all the way up. You're almost clearing the tree line. I imagine you would have chosen a tall tree.
Yeah, I would have looked for like kind of one that I could tell reached higher than the...
Yeah.
Okay.
So you take out the compass again, and it is pointing west, and you look in that direction, and you do see a clearing in the trees from this vantage point. And it's not a huge clearing, but it's an obvious one. And as you look, you see like a heron clearing the trees and flying away and landing somewhere. I'm
getting excited because I think there's water there.
Yeah, you are pretty sure that there is a body of water there. You don't know if it's the one you're looking for.
Okay.
Did you want to look around?
Yeah, I want to look around. I kind of, get like, I imagine like I'll be able to see the ravine that the river's in.
Yeah, you definitely
can tell that.
Yeah.
Maybe not the actual river, but where the trees break. I think I want to kind of look around for maybe a different kind of tree that's also is tall, or maybe if there's any kind of rock outcropping or something that I could use as a landmark so I can find my way
to the
water. From where I'm at. Like, is there anything ahead of me? And I realize that I'm like above the canopy here, but is there anything like if I were to climb another tree, I could be like, okay, I'm closer. I'm going in the right direction. And I know I have the compass.
You do have the compass.
Yeah. Okay. I think this is just his natural process of wayfinding.
Yeah.
Like.
There are taller trees. The trees that seem to be growing around this body of water are like a different kind of tree. Like right now it's like evergreens, pines.
Okay.
Like what we have around here.
Yeah.
Around the water, you see oaks that are kind of very distinctive.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah. I'd say that's probably the only distinctive landmarks around it. It seems like a very sort of isolated
area. Okay.
Area. Yeah.
Okay. I will definitely make note of the different trees, and then like one last kind of look around of everything, and then climb down. And then I'm going to take one of my non-magical daggers and just kind of make a little mark on this tree.
Okay.
And then I may do that once or twice, kind of coming back just to kind of, I know I have the compass for everyone out there. Like, I know I have the compass that will lead me in this direction, but I think this is just Bang's
the compass
natural.
Only pointed to the water once you reach that point. So like this can be you.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
okay. Yeah.
Because you still have,
Like 30
20,
or so
30
minutes.
minutes from the road to the point.
Yeah, I would, and I think like it's just his natural, cross country training thing to just kind of mark, and it's not like a big like X or anything. It's just like maybe
just
a little mark
notch
that he recognizes down low.
Yeah.
I think being friends with Fizzz, he wouldn't do anything that would harm a tree. So yeah, I think he does kind of just do some simple stuff to kind of that he would recognize. And I'll make my way back to the camp.
Cool.
Hey, Rasul, I don't want to get too excited, but there is a pretty big body of water. Not sure how far out. The compass kind of dinged about when I was about 30 minutes out from here.
Yeah, probably another mile after that. I'll say
Okay.
it was kind of like at the edge of the range of the compass.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, right. You told me that. Okay. So yeah, maybe mile and a half ish, but it's west through the woods, and I don't think. Bidaka might make it, but I don't think the wagon will.
We should check that out.
I mean,
He looks kind of excited, but like doing that, well.
Yeah, I think Bang is also like cautiously excited.
Yeah.
He's super excited that he has this magic item that pointed to water.
Yeah.
It works. It's like, oh my gosh, it works.
Like Rasul's aware that it could be a waste of time. But
yeah, and
like,
I think in the back of his mind, Bang is like, this is probably just a random lake. But yeah, I think it's like, yeah, let's, do you want me to go? And I could go check it out, or if you want to, we could hide the wagon, I guess, in the woods here next to the road, or.
Why don't you go? But if that lotus plant is there, you'll need a container to put it in. You see, you need the whole plant, roots and all.
Oh.
So there might be some swimming involved. Right? Can you
well,
swim?
Yeah.
You grew up on
I grew
an
up on an
island.
island. Yeah. We had a lot of swimming. Yeah.
So Razul will go to his wagon and pull out like a gallon-sized glass jar, which, for him, it's not a big deal to carry.
That's good.
For Bang, he kind of looks at you and looks at the jar and then like fashions a rope around the rim of it. Okay. And it's got like a cork lid, like a big flat cork lid. It's kind of a wide mouth jar. So he fastens a rope with a little like shoulder strap that you can carry it easily enough, and you'd be able to swim with it too.
I think what Bang will do, I like the rope idea, but I think he's a little worried about just exposed glass.
Well, it's got netting around it.
Okay, I got you. Okay.
Sorry, I failed to mention that, but it is in my notes.
I got you. Okay. I was thinking about like, is it, it's probably too big to fit in his pack. Like if he took his stuff out, would it fit? That might be still too big.
Yeah. How big is his pack?
It's not huge.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, so he'll kind of hook that so it's over his shoulders and maybe wrap his cloak around it just for, I think he's just worried that he's going to get there and find the thing and it's going to be broken and he's going to be like, well, crap. So yeah, I think he'll wrap his cloak around it and then like put it over his shoulders so he can carry it like a pack.
Okay.
Which means he's only going to be taking his magic dagger and his regular dagger and some rope.
And the compass.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because he wouldn't be able to carry his bow and quiver and all of that. So
yeah,
he'll leave his stuff behind. A little nervous, but yeah.
Razul says, "Good luck, Bang."
Thank you I hope this is what we're looking for in it, and
Me too.
if it's not, we'll keep trying.
This is a good stopping point to do our little bit in the middle.
Oh, okay.
We've been calling it the middle bit.
The little middle bit.
Yeah.
If you've got a good name for it, let us know.
Yeah. Because otherwise, it's just going to be the middle bit. So
The middle bit. I like, you know what? I like it in the middle
yeah,
bit.
it's fine.
Okay, cool.
Okay. We will be back. Okay.
All right.
It's time for the middle bit.
The middle bit, where we give you tips on D&D and RPG stuff.
Yeah. But before we do that, we should tell people where to find us.
All the places.
If you didn't know, you are listening to a podcast by Jess and Hids called A Tale of Two Kobolds. And if you would like to learn more about what we do, in addition to this podcast, you can find us at patreon.com/jessandhids. You can also look on our website, jessandhids.com.
If you'd like to support our podcast, that would be awesome. And you can join our Patreon. We have several different tiers available. The Spark tier is the one I want to talk about. It's $6 a month, and that gets you into our gaming sessions. We have D&D based games. We have D6 based RPGs. We have other random game mechanic RPGs that we play. And they're a lot of fun. We have, I don't know, like 6 or 7 games a week. We have a couple campaigns running.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes we have
more.
Multiple, 8 games a week.
8 games a week. I feel like that's like what I was doing in 2020.
Yeah.
But yeah,
we don't DM them all.
No, we don't. We have guest
GMs.
GMs that run some stuff for us, and we have a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you'd like to play some games, we do love welcoming new people and teaching and helping you learn all the different things too.
Yeah. Play games with us. I was taking a big breath to do that, and then you just didn't finish your sentence, so I had to wait.
You're over there flailing like, So yeah, check us out, patreon.com/jessandhids.
Yeah. You can also follow us on all the social medias. Just search for Jess and Hids. We'll show up. Instagram, Facebook, Threads. And that's it for now. Yeah. We do have a TikTok account, and you are welcome to follow us, but we haven't put out any content. So.
No, I've reposted a few things, but that's about
it. We are rarely on TikTok. It's like a time waster for me. I just lose hours and hours. So I've made myself stop. When we eventually start putting out content, though, we're here for you.
Yeah, we'll be there. So follow us now. And then we'll just start showing up in your newsfeed one day, and you'll be like, hey, there they are.
Oh, look, they finally figured out TikTok.
Also, really quick, I wanted to give a shout out. We got an email the other day, and I was like, this feels sketchy, or maybe it was like one of those random, like, hi, I do this thing, and I saw your podcast, and they obviously didn't listen to it or anything. But so I did, but there was enough of it that felt like, hey, this seems legit too. So I actually did a little Googling, and I discovered this guy, Rob, that emailed us, actually does run a website, and it is called audiofiction.co.uk. I believe he's Cambridge based, and it is it's a fiction podcast library,
like a database.
Yeah. So we've emailed back and forth a little bit, and he said he always wanted a place where he could find new podcasts easily, like, and have them kind of in one place,
like specifically
style.
Fiction podcasts,
and
which is cool,
which is really cool. So he added our podcast, A Tale of Two Kobolds, and we were like, all right, thanks, Rob, that's cool. So audiofiction.co.uk, go check it out. He puts like the first episode links to the first episode of new podcasts. And I actually found a couple on there I might listen to. I was like, this one looks interesting, but it's a variety. There's RPG, actual play game podcasts like ours. There's fiction. There's where people will read books or do like kind of radio play type fictional.
Like audio dramas.
Audio drama. Thank you. That's the word. But yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff on there. So I just wanted to give a shout out to Rob.
Yeah, thanks, Rob.
Thank you for putting us on your list.
Yeah. And you found us pretty quick.
I know.
That's cool.
Very cool. Like we're like started getting like some random downloads, and I was like, we've been shared somewhere or something. Like we're just getting a lot of these.
And we had a big uptick in downloads, and
then we got the email,
we've only had one episode.
Yeah, and a trailer.
Yeah, it seemed interesting. But
they like us.
Yeah.
Yay.
We're glad that people seem to like it.
Yeah. So let's get into this month's little segment of tips for role-playing games.
Yeah, for running games.
Games.
And I guess, if you're a player, you can listen to this too.
Oh, yeah.
It'll be helpful.
For sure. Last time we just kind of talked a little bit about the cozy mechanics we're using for this podcast, but this is kind of just in general type stuff. And our topic I keep wanting to say this week, our topic this month is the importance of the zero session.
So if you don't know what a zero session is, this is the session that needs to happen before your adventure actually begins. This is where you sit as players and as a GM and meet each other and get a feel for how personalities and how the game's going to go.
And this is like we're coming to you with this like kind of as a online, because that's where all our games take place, are online.
Yeah.
This is also a good thing if you're going to a game store that offers games. The GM should have a zero session where you kind of learn a little bit about what to expect from them and what they expect from you.
Yeah.
And we just have a few bullet points to go through.
And I will say, if you are signing up for games at a game store and it's like a one and done sort of thing, and there's no, it's not a campaign. If you're signing up for a one shot, the GM should also spend some time at the beginning of the session doing exactly this, what you would do in a zero session.
Yeah. And we don't have like a game store near us. We're kind of out away from away from things. So this may be something that when you go to your game store, they may have here's what to expect from our games.
We don't really know how that works.
I don't know how it works because we don't have that option around us.
If you want to email us and inform us,
you could tell us. We'll fix it.
Yeah.
But so I just we're going to go through a couple bullet points to help new players and new GMs, or if you've never done a zero session but you have run games, it's a good thing to kind of get a feel for things.
Yeah.
I think really quick, one of the first things I want to go over, and I'm going out of order of the way I actually made this list, but checking in with your players about phobias or triggers and staying aware of that as you plan your sessions. In general, most people can do the fantasy versus reality thing and separate it, but sometimes stuff happens and you're triggered by something and you're not really kind of planning,
I mean, you never plan to get
triggered.
plan
to get triggered, but you're in the middle of something and then something kind of hits you. And it just, you kind of get in a bad space in your head. So if you're as a GM, if you're kind of aware of that, you can, maybe talk to your player beforehand, say, hey, in this session, this, that, or this comes up. Is that going to be okay? I can edit it out, or if the player's like, no, I'm good, run with it.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
I'll list. Go ahead.
Sorry. It's you, your triggers, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so for me, for example, I don't really have any huge triggers that I would feel the need to bring up to a GM. I joke about how Jack Nicholson is creepy and I really hate scorpions and celery, but none of those are triggers for me.
Yeah.
So when we say by trigger, we don't really mean We mean like the original meaning of the word trigger, that like something that gives you a physical reaction and kind of shuts you down.
Yeah.
And makes it really hard for you to continue playing the game. We don't mean like, I really don't like scorpions, like unless it is an actual phobia.
And for me, like gaslighting and narcissistic manipulation is a huge thing. And I have been in a game that I've had to like, hey, stop. I can't go on with this game. I have to, just because some player interaction, character interaction, I was just like, I can't do this.
Yeah.
And we just stepped back, and there's, that was something that it was online, and it was kind of, I just took a moment and messaged the GM and was like, okay, I'm going to step away. And we all talked through it and got past it, and it was fine. But there are a lot of different things that you can use that have been like kind of brought into the RPG world.
Yeah.
And we'll list these like in the show notes. We'll put links, but there are some Reddit threads. A lot of things use the X card, which is just a card that you can have if you're playing a real life game, or if you are online, you can have a signal that your player can give. They can just hold up a card, or they can just hold up their hand, do the hand across your throat, like stop, or just message you on the side, like, hey, I'm uncomfortable.
Yeah. And it's just something that is understood among all of the players, the entire table, that like we stop and we move on and no questions asked.
Yeah. This conversation is over. Next, and that's done. And there's also like yellow, red, green, or green, yellow, red. I had to like, how does that work? Where people are like, well, I'm uncomfortable, but go ahead with it, as long as it doesn't. And so it's just a matter of making everyone kind of feel comfortable, because I feel like you can come into contact with so much stuff in playing like a D&D game, where you get to kind of grow as a person yourself while your character's growing.
Yeah.
But you do want to make sure that you're comfortable and not, making someone else feel just, PTSD or just really uncomfortable and skeeved out by what's happening. So that's kind of for me, that's one of the big things to kind of check in with at the start of a game.
Keep the fiction in the fiction. If you start actually feeling bad, uncomfortable in any way, you as a person, you should be comfortable to go to the GM and say, this isn't cool. Yeah. And that is why the zero session is so important, because you also, it gives a chance for players to get to know the GM and get comfortable with the GM being somebody that you would go to and say, I'm not cool with this. Yeah. And then...
And if you're in a situation and the GM's like, yeah, well, deal with it. Yeah, find a new game.
Yeah.
Come play with us, okay?
That game is not worth your time if the GM is not going to take your actual personal feelings into account. Yeah. Your real life feelings.
Yeah. And there's the line where you have to say, yeah, this makes me uncomfortable, but I still want to play this game. And as long as you're comfortable with the, something, that's good.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like the big thing to kind of make sure, because you want to have fun regardless of what kind of game you're playing.
Yeah.
And you want to be comfortable with the group you're playing with. So some other points that you can introduce in the GM session, in the zero session.
It's a great time to introduce the setting of your game. A lot of D&D games tend to take place in like a fantasy world, but a lot of them also don't. There's so much content out there. So introduce the setting, especially if you're homebrewing your own world. Make sure your players know the rules of magic, the magic system being used, or like the common elements that you might find in this world that the players supposedly live in, so they would be familiar with it. If you are doing a campaign in space, make sure your players know, by the way, you're in space. Yeah. Or to pull an actual Wizards of the Coast module, you are currently running Rime of the Frost Maiden in your play-by-post game. And it's a game that takes place during this harsh, eternal winter. and that's kind of the crux, I guess, of the game.
Mhm.
Like that's a big plot point in it. So like that's something that you should mention in the zero session. By the way, it's cold.
It's always
This
cold,
is
and that's going to
something
be an issue.
because like weather isn't usually something that you really have to worry about in a game, but in this particular one, you do. So you
Yeah.
want to make sure your players know you need to be prepared to, withstand these harsh temperatures.
Yeah, and I did kind of, this is a perfect moment to understand why the zero session is important. Because this is a play-by-post game, we didn't sit down all together and have a zero session. I was just putting information in our Discord channel, and I realized that I did put in like, hey, there is this eternal winter and stuff. What I didn't mention was that the cold can affect you, and you're going to have to be aware.
Mechanics.
So my players were like, what is happening right now? And I'm like,
it's cold.
It's
really
I didn't
cold.
explain this. I'm really sorry, you guys. Okay. We'll do a little bit of fixing that. But yeah, moving forward, cold is an issue. And you're going to have to be aware of that. Like, being out at night is deadly.
Yeah.
That sort of thing. So yeah, I had to do a little backpedal there. Like, oh crap, I thought I put this information, but and it is a play-by-post, so it's all text-based. Where had we sat down in person or online, I would have been like, okay, so I have to stress how cold it is.
You would have been able to emphasize.
And that also can help, that also helps your players know what kind of characters to bring into a game. If you're in a freezing cold place, you might not want to build a character who hates the cold, or they might hate it, but like maybe is like vulnerable to cold for some reason in the build or whatever. You want someone who can work well in that situation. And that's not to say don't build the character you want to play. Just be aware that you might be
It
at
might
a
be a little
severe
tougher for
disadvantage
you.
or something like that. So it's good to know what kind of game you're going to play so that you can kind of craft your character to fit the scenario, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. And the same goes for any TTRPG that you play. Like we play Badge Quest. What you need to know about Badge Quest is generally takes place in a small town. You are scouts selling cookies and weird things happen.
And you're like 9 to 12 years old.
Yeah.
So but it's like real world. There's not really like magic. It's kind of real world with some weird paranormal stuff.
But like in cases like that, it would be a good idea to sort of establish what kind of tech is available to you.
Mm-hmm.
Is it going to be like the 80s style Goonies, kids riding bikes, running all around?
There's a gameplay of that. Kids on Bikes.
Kids on Bikes,
is a game genre. That's like, but yeah.
Or is everybody going to have, smartphones and things like that? It's something that needs to be established.
Yeah. Which is fun. And I think that part of the zero session will help your characters or your players enjoy the game even more. And something that you would add in at that moment while you're building your world or kind of helping your players understand is if you have table rules that deviate from rules as written in the book, this is the time to tell your players. I'll use example, in D&D Beyond, rules as written is for a critical, you just roll your dice twice. So it would be like if you have a D8 for damage, you roll 2D8, and whatever's on the dice, that's your bonus damage.
Even if you roll two ones.
Yeah. And so when we do a critical damage, you get your dice, the total. So you would get the full D8. And
regular. Oh, yeah.
So you would get the full D8, and then you would roll a D8 and add that to it. So you're always going to do your maximum amount of damage plus.
Yeah.
So it
makes the crit worth it.
Yeah, it makes it like an actual like really good hit that you were able to hit that weak spot in their armor and do like this massive amount of damage.
Yeah.
And so it's like kind of really fulfilling and satisfying when you hit that nat 20.
Yeah.
And you're like, yes, all right, now I got to do a lot of math. But yeah, and so if you have table rules, that are going to be different. Like if something, like you want to switch up something and do make it a bonus action instead of an action or whatever, if it makes sense. Just make sure your players know ahead of time, and then write it down so that you are consistent throughout your game, and they don't come back and say, well, you let me do that last time.
Yeah. Especially if it's like an on-the-fly ruling that you're like, okay, from now on, this is how this is going to work. This specific thing is going to work. Write that down. Yeah, because we 100%, like we talked a bit about it last session or episode when rule of cool way out rules is written. Oh, yeah. Like if you can come up with something and give us a good reason why you think it'll work, that's what we're going to go for. The creativity, reward the creativity. But write it down, especially if it's maybe a kind of a loose interpretation of how a spell works. Yeah. Write it down so that when they try to do it next time and you're like, what are you trying to pull? I'm like, last time it worked. Why doesn't it work now? Yeah. And, a point I want, one more point on that is knowing the world that you are building in. Yeah. The game I run on Saturdays, a player used a spell that is comprehend languages. And that means that when you read a language, you understand it. Yeah, any language in the world. Any language in the world. Mm-hmm. And they couldn't read a language, and they were very confused. Yeah. And I broke out of the game, and I was like, trust me that I have a reason for this. Yeah. And it will be revealed, but not right now. Because otherwise the player would have been like, well, all the players would have been like, everybody was like, that doesn't work. Are you... Wait, literally, that's how the spell works. That's not fair, But I was like, hey, it's okay. Yeah, I'm very intrigued by that. Yeah. I am a player in that game. I know. You don't even know. It's fun. So, but yeah, just once you establish something is for real in your game, keep it. Make sure you do that. Yeah. And then speaking of expectations, we always, in our zero sessions, make sure that our players know that we value good story over like min-maxing. And like, you're not trying to be the most powerful person. Like that's not the point of the game, is to be the most powerful person ever. We like to think of that as a perk. Yeah. Like, you will level up and you will grow more powerful and you'll get these cool magical items. But for us, the point is just to tell a good story. The powerful stuff, the cool weapons, the loot, all of that, that's just a perk. Yeah. You did a quote the other day when we were kind of talking about this part. You said, that's not the point. It's a perk. And I love that. Yeah. Like, and that's not to say that a min-max style is wrong. Yeah. Our games are just not like built to min-max. Yeah. And that's something that we bring up in every zero session. Mm-hmm. That's important for players to know, that like, you can min-max, that's fine. Mm-hmm. But we love a good flawed character as well. Yeah. If you want to build in flaws into your stats, that's great. You don't necessarily have to. Just tell a good story. Yeah. And just have fun with it. I mean, like I mentioned at the beginning of the episode, the Bang, I'm planning to go Inquisitive Row, but I don't know where his story is going to take him. Yeah. So I'm leaving it open by not planning out, through level whatever, 10 or 15, whatever. I don't know how far this is going to go, but yeah. I don't know what he's going to do at every step, because I don't know what experiences he's going to have as he, progresses on his journey. So I have no idea what druid circle Fizzz is going to choose. I should probably figure that out, because I think that's a level 3 decision. You haven't level 3 yet. Yeah. So there might be some clues coming up that might help make that decision. See, leave it. Clues to help make. Okay. I mean, not clues. Events. We'll go with events. Okay. Things that nudge her a certain direction. Yeah. Do you have a circle in mind? I have no. I'm just saying, no, I would not pick your circle for you. I'm just saying, I know, I have my outline of next episode. Okay. And so I know some things that are going to happen that might influence her one way or the other. Sweet. So yeah. But yeah, going back to the min-max, I've never played that way. It wasn't how I was taught to play. I like to build a character that makes sense. Like there are, like, specifically talking about D&D, there are stats that you want to boost. Let's say, we'll use Fizz as an example. Fizz is a druid, and the rules are your spell casting ability is directly related to your wisdom score.
Mhm.
And so I like to bump up my wisdom if I'm playing a druid.
Yeah.
And like same thing if I'm playing a fighter, I want my strength to be up there.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm playing a rogue, I want it to be dex. There's a reason that you are the class that you're playing, and that's because you're good at this thing. So like, I don't consider that min-maxing.
No.
There
are things like your training for your rogue training or your druid training that require a certain thing.
Yeah.
You know, if you think about it in a air quotes realistic manner, you know, you have to do a few things that help, you know, create this character. But yeah, like you are gonna pay attention to your skills in that aspect and where you're putting your ability checks or your ability scores and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But it's you know, just let it work for your character and think about your personality and stuff. And I think that is how you really have, for me, that's how I have a fun game. is like, I'm good at this thing, but you know, I might also be really bad at this other thing.
Yeah. Anyway, we have ventured into
random
player tips and not like,
I
gotta reel it back into the zero session.
Back to the zero session.
Yeah.
Sorry. I get excited about this stuff. I just really like it.
I know we could talk about this for a really long time.
We could, but this is just the middle segment. We got to get back to Bang's adventure.
Yeah.
Okay, so we did the check-in with phobias. We did talking about building the character to tell the story. A couple other things I have just made in our notes, along with from the GM side of things, establishing the party setup. You know, do your characters know each other? Or are they going to get to know each other as the game unfolds? And that's important, I think. Like, and if they do know each other beforehand, kind of having that conversation, like, okay, you know, how long have you known each other? What, you know, do you know all their deep dark secrets because you've been besties forever? Or
have you just
meet? Have you just been hanging out for the past month or so? And you're like, yeah, let's go on an adventure together. So, and that helps to like your players once the campaign starts. It helps with the role play.
Yeah. Yeah, I will always prefer, at least with campaigns, starting with you all don't know each other.
Yeah.
But that is, again, something that is up to the GM and can be established during the zero session. Mm-hmm. I think one more thing we'll touch on is if you have new players in your group, or a group of all new players, zero session is a good time to go over each character sheet and make sure they know how to read it, where to find stuff, and maybe make sure that they know like which, you know, like your AC is directly related to your dex stat. Your ability to hit with a melee weapon is directly related to your strength stat. And like where all of those things
are
add
related
up
to dex, you know.
Yeah, having proficiency with something means da 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 da.
And if you're building,
I don't know why I da 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 over that. It means you can add your proficiency modifier to your roll.
and if you're playing on D&D Beyond, which is like, and I keep coming back to that website because it is kind of the standard. It's Wizards of the Coast owns D&D, and so there are a myriad different places where you can get different types of character sheets and stuff. But that's kind of the go-to one. It does the math for you. So a lot of players have these numbers that are generated by the choices they made, but they don't really understand them. Yeah. So just take a minute and be like, okay, this is why you have a +7 to hit. Oh, to hit means that's what you add to your D20 to hit something. Yeah. You know, and these numbers are how much damage you do. So just making sure everybody understands their character sheets and where things are and how to find them. And I think that's really helpful, especially if you don't have a printed sheet, you have a website and you're using their. Yeah, it's different on a tablet, it's different on a phone, it's different on the browser. So you kind of knowing. We've been in games and they're like, "Where do I find that?" And I'm like, "It's right here." I don't have that.
Not on the phone.
You're on a phone.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have to like tap a few things and swipe a few pages, and you can get to that place. So
Yeah.
So you have to know, as a GM, you have to be aware of how the different devices work too.
Yeah.
Or be willing to sit and help them out. But
Yeah. The same can be said for any other TTRPG. They usually come with character sheets, so make sure your player can understand it. Yeah, I think that was the last thing we wanted
I
to
think so,
touch on.
Just taking that time to really get to know each other.
Yeah.
And the world.
Yeah. Have a 0 session. If you're planning on running a campaign, have a 0 session. If you're planning on running one-shots, make sure your players know beforehand going in. You can have like a truncated introduction at the beginning of your session to say, I run a clean game or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. And one-shots are a different ball game, but it is still important to have fun and everybody be aware of what's going to happen in the game.
Yeah.
Not what's going to happen, but what to expect,
Yeah.
Just for the most fun that you can have. So I think, I think that wraps up our little middle segment here, the middle bit.
The middle bit.
I like the name.
I think that's what we're just going to call it. Yeah.
And now I'm excited to see where what's going to happen.
Where
with
little
Bang.
Bang's going to go. Yeah.
We
know where he's going to go.
Well, we know where he's going, but what's going to happen when he gets there?
Yeah.
I'm
It's going to be
excited.
fun. Okay. Back to it.
And we're back.
And we're back. I hope you enjoyed that middle bit that we have not yet recorded. We said some cool stuff.
It was really cool.
And
helpful.
We were probably pretty funny. Hopefully. I don't know. We think we're funny.
And that's all that matters.
Yep.
Is what we think
And
about
now,
ourselves.
Back to the adventure. Okay, hang on. I have a retcon.
Yes.
I said the compass was pointing west.
Correct.
But you would have had to travel east to go further from the river.
Oh, okay.
So
we did look at the map a little bit.
Yeah, we consulted the map and I was wrong. The compass was pointing east.
Okay.
Yes. So you were
I'm
still
reorienting
traveling
myself in my brain.
Still traveling in a southwesterly direction down the road, but the compass would have been east. You are on that side of the river.
Okay.
Eastern side. Yeah.
Okay. Put the river. I have my mental picture. I have to put the river on my other side now. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. We're good.
Okay. So, bang.
Yes.
You start traveling.
Mm-hmm.
It does not take you long at all to find the tree that you climbed, following your marks on the tree. And now that you are there, you look down at the compass and it is, in fact, pointing east.
Okay.
So as you continue to travel, the terrain it's not super rough or rocky here. You're kind of in a little flat area between two mountains.
Okay.
Or rises. Like the vegetation is getting thicker and thicker, but it's pretty easy for you to travel. You're a kobold. You're used to jungle-y environments. So this is nothing for you. So before long, you do reach a lake. And it's it's a relatively small lake. It's about 100 yards from shore to shore. So like football size.
Okay.
Football field size, not football size. That's a tiny.
That's really small.
Yeah.
That's really, really small. Okay.
So 100 yards from shore to shore. And just based on looking all around at it's just surrounded by those, I said oak trees. I'm pretty sure oaks grow next to bodies of water.
Yeah,
they grow everywhere.
They like water.
But between the oaks and the pines,
oaks.
they're sure.
I mean, that's a thing.
It's a fantasy world. It could be whatever I say it is. So lots of vegetation growing around here, and you can tell just by looking around that there are no inlets or outlets to this lake.
Oh, okay.
And when you get a closer look at the water, it is very clear. It's very clean and very fresh.
I feel like Bang is kind of in awe because the jungle lakes and waters tend to be a little more brackish, not gross, but
standing
just kind
water
of
for sure.
Standing water
has that layer of what's that stuff called on top?
Duckweed or yeah. And I think I just want to say, like, we are like going back and forth with notes a lot because we are establishing locations and stuff for our listeners. Things that may never come out in the story, but they like kind of building the world. Bang is from the area on the northern islands near Raven Lake, which is kind of a black bottom lake, obsidian from the volcano there. And I think there's a lot of debris and stuff like that. So he is not used to really clear water.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, I think he's going to take just a minute and kind of absorb this moment. Like this is like a really pretty, kind of, there's no, I'm assuming there's no like housing or any, like this is wilderness.
It's definitely in the middle of nowhere.
Nowhere. Okay.
The bottom of the lake, you can see through the water, like by the shore.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just this very lush, mossy lake bed and vibrant green. And then it kind of like disappears into darkness because you're not actually sure how deep the lake goes. And as you look out in the middle of the lake, there is sort of like a cluster of green vegetation that seems to be growing out of it. And from this distance, you can't really tell if it's just a tiny little island. It doesn't seem that big. It might be like maybe 3 feet in diameter. It doesn't seem huge, but it could, like, you're not sure if it's like something growing up out of it or like, I don't know.
Just like a cluster of greenery that's kind of, okay.
It could have been like debris floating in it or something. You're not sure from here, but it is a cluster of green in the middle of a lake.
I think I might scramble up one of the trees and kind of get a bird's eye view.
Okay.
Like, and see if there's anything, because you know how sometimes when you're above the water, you can see a little more depth.
Yeah.
I think he's going to try to do that. Find one of the trees that's closer to the edge and scramble up it.
Yeah.
Just to get kind of a better overall view. And like he's cautious. He wants to check and make sure there's like, I missed the tiger that's on the other side of or the bear. I don't know.
Tiger.
Jungle and the, tiger in the jungle. But
sure.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah. You can find again, no problem finding a tall tree.
Okay.
The athletics at advantage.
That is I think it's another 19. Yeah. 19.
Nice.
17. I like these dice.
Okay. Yeah. You get a really good view of the lake. You can look down at the cluster of vegetation and you do see sort of this vibrant white in the middle of this little 3-foot sort of diameter cluster of green.
Dang, that might be what I'm looking for.
From your height in the tree, you can't tell too much detail, but there is definitely, the splash of white right there. And as far as the depth of the lake goes, the sunlight is sort of dappling through the water. You can see more of it now that you're up high, but there's still like right there in the center of the lake, it does still get dark and you're not actually sure how deep it goes. But around the edges, like you can see that it's still this mossy, vibrant green that just kind of disappears, the deeper the lake goes.
Okay.
You could stay up there for a couple minutes and kind of look at your surroundings. You don't really see any wildlife in the trees right now. It seems to be pretty quiet.
Okay.
But you do see occasional movement in the water. You clock like a tiny little school of fish, like lake minnows or whatever.
Okay.
I don't know if that's a thing, but yeah. So this lake does have wildlife. You can't see anything super huge and threatening in the water.
Okay. I'm also going to say when I climbed up this tree, I left the jar. That occurred to me. I didn't climb with the jar on my back. Okay. So yeah, I'll climb down. Okay. I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to take my rope and tie it to the little handles that he put on the jar.
Okay.
And I'm going to just hold the rope and kind of tow the jar because the jar's empty and it should float.
Yeah, and it's got the cork on it, so it's buoyant.
Okay, so yeah, I'm going to kind of tow it behind me.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. I'll tow behind me. So if this is what I'm looking for, I can put it in and then kind of do the same thing getting back.
Yeah.
It might be a little
heavier,
I
imagine you know how to swim, so you can tread water as you fill this jar and figure out, once you get closer to the plant, you can figure out how to.
I'm thinking, I don't know, like if I can just leave the jar here and bring the plant back and then put it in without like, pulling it through the water.
Mm-hmm.
But I also don't want to waste a lot of time swimming back and forth and tire myself out either. So
yeah,
I'm going to do that.
The only thing Razul knew is that it needs to be roots and all in the jar.
In the jar. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think I'll do that. I'll have the rope tied to the jar. The jar can kind of be behind me, and I'll just put the rope in my teeth and swim out and kind of pull this behind me. Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead and make an athletics check to swim out. Okay. You'll get there no matter what. I just want to see how tiring it is.
It's a 10.
Okay. It's not bad. It was a low DC.
Okay.
You make it out there and you reach this cluster of green. And now that you're close up, you do see in the center is this vibrant white lotus blossom about the size of your head. It's like almost gonna take up the full
jar.
Jar.
Okay.
Like there will be enough room for the roots and stuff, but just like in full bloom, it's gonna take up, what's the word? Circumference? The entire circumference of the jar. Yeah.
It's gonna fill.
It's nice. And
I bet it smells good too. I don't know. It
does. So like you're kind of treading water as you look at this plant, and you do notice that the tips of the leaves are kind of glowing golden. They're releasing this soft golden glow.
So pretty.
So you are definitely sure that this is the lotus of legend that you're looking for. As you're looking at this plant, roll an investigation, or go ahead and do perception.
Okay.
Because you're kind of just taking it all in.
Hey, 24.
All right, so you're looking at this and you see this big blossom is surrounded kind of by leaves that are floating on the surface, and some of the leaves are kind of like sprouting out over it that kind of like it hid your view of the white from the shore.
Okay, I got you.
And you can actually see out of underneath one of the leaves that are floating on the surface of the water, you see a second little bud of a blossom kind of poking out. So you have this main lotus and you have this little bud.
Okay.
Would you like to check out below the water? Now that you're here, the water is clear and you can see just from being above the water, you can see that the stem kind of goes down and there are kind of leaves that are shooting off underwater as it goes down.
Okay.
But it does kind of disappear into blackness. You're still unsure how deep the water is.
Yeah. Okay. I think, is this like kind of stable enough, like he can kind of hold on to the plant and rest a little bit? Like, there's this little cluster of everything.
The cluster, you're small enough that, yes, it can definitely kind of act as a floaty.
Okay.
For
cool.
you.
Yeah. I'm just thinking like constantly. Okay.
I actually read up on the D&D rules for swimming and they're vague, but I found a post that says like you can swim for an hour without having to make con checks.
Okay.
Which seems like, I could probably tread water for an hour. I know a lot of people can't, but
I sink straight down. So,
it just like, it depends on your body build.
Let's just say Hiddles would not go in the lake after this. They would take the time to build a boat.
Yeah. But like for an adventure, sure.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think my thought, and this is something that's been kind of kicking around, I think, since Bang started talking with Russell, and he might have even asked Russell, but I didn't think of it until we just got here.
Russell. I was like, Russell.
Razul. Yeah, this is something that's kind of thinking, like, especially while he's walking to get this, like thinking this might be the lake that, there is the thought that what happens to the lake if this is the flower and he takes it away? Does the lake disappear? Does the water go away? And I feel like that might have been something he would have asked Russell, but I don't Russell. But I don't know I don't want to like say I did that. I think it's something that he's thinking as he's walking.
Okay.
Because I think up to this point, it was just like, oh, okay, magical flower, cool, take the flower, you have water.
Yeah.
But now seeing all of this and seeing this small lake and like, I think that's a question. So I think I might have him examine that bud.
Okay.
And see if, like, does that bud maybe have its own little roots kind of growing off of it?
Okay.
So yeah, I'll kind of duck underwater and kind of maybe use the bulk of the roots of the plant to kind of pull myself under a little bit and examine that.
Yeah. Make another perception check.
That is a 19.
Okay. You do see the stem of this smaller bud. It's sort of like coiled and wrapped around this main lotus stem.
Okay.
And you think in order to untangle it all, you would have to sort of start either at the bottom or at the top, but it's going to have to be sort of continuously unwoven from it. So like you could, well, yeah, that's what you see.
Okay. All right. I'll go back up and get some air.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's what he's going to try to do, because I'm also looking like these roots go all the way down.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking like, that's not all going to fit in that jar. And I don't know if like cutting the roots.
You're still unsure how deep the lake is.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah. I think I'm going to try to unwind that bud.
Okay.
That section of root.
Okay.
And see if I could get that. Or does it go like keep going all the way down too? Or can I see that little bud keeps going all the way down too?
Yeah.
Oh, dang.
I will say, when I looked up the rules, I found out that you can hold your breath for 1 minute because it's your con modifier +1. And that's why I asked your con modifier earlier.
Okay.
So Bang can hold his breath for 1 minute. And you also have, generally, rules as written, your swim speed is halved because it's considered difficult terrain, unless it specifies that you otherwise, that you have a swim speed. So
15 feet would be my swim speed.
So you can do 15 feet in 6 seconds.
Okay.
So you can do 150 feet in a minute. But you want to give yourself time to get back up too.
Yeah.
So like you could do some test dives to see if you can find the bottom of this.
Okay. Yeah, I think I'll have to do that because he doesn't. Yeah, the whole root thing is not going to fit in. He's concerned that cutting it is going to damage the magic. Yeah, I think the goal is to see if he could find the end of that bud. So I think I'm going to go, and I'm actually going to use the roots to kind of help pull myself along.
Okay.
To kind of save my energy and my breath tether and stuff. Yeah,
you could probably, you know what? I'll say you can move faster that way too, because you're not like having to move your arms, whatever, to swim.
Fight gravity or the buoyancy.
And it's strong enough. That stem on that main lotus is strong enough for you to be able.
Yeah, I'm picturing it like a pretty wide, like almost like a small tree trunk kind of as it winds down. And okay. Yeah. I'm going to like put my hand on the root bud that kind of circles around.
Okay.
And I'm going to move slowly, but as quickly as I can because I'm limited on air, pulling myself along this root. And I want to follow that twisting one, the bud one. And I'll go down. How far can I get in like 30 seconds? That's 5.
You can get
halfway. It's like 60 feet, 70 feet, something like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You don't need that that far. You don't need to go that far. So I'll say you get about 30 feet down.
Okay.
And your night vision, your dark vision has kicked in. So you are a kobold. Once you reach about 20 feet, it starts getting into dim lighting. And now that you're at 30 feet, everything is kind of dark around you. You can tell that the water is still clear, but it's just like sunlight.
There's just the sunlight.
Can't reach down here. You see pretty clearly the bottom of the lake about another 20 feet below you. So it's about, I think it's 50 feet total.
Okay.
Yeah. 50, 55, 60, somewhere around there.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. And you see the little stem, the smaller one, does continue down all the way down to the lake bed.
Okay.
And roll another perception check.
I really should remember that number. 5. Okay. That's a dirty 20.
Okay. You can see now that you're looking down, there's kind of like, so far everything has been sort of that like mossy covered lake bed, but you can actually see some exposed roots extending up beyond the mossy, grassy, whatever greenery is down there covering the bottom of this lake.
Okay.
So some of the roots are exposed. So you can tell that like the grass that covers the bottom of the lake is not going to be like super long. So you can tell that the smaller bud, the root system is sort of entangled with the larger lotus's root system, and it might take some pretty good sleight of hand to set it free. You also see with a dirty 20, there is a dark shape in the water.
Is it moving near me?
Getting closer.
Okay, I'm gonna crap. Okay, I'm gonna use the root to pull myself back up pretty quickly so I can get my air.
Yeah.
Was the dark shape much larger than me?
It was about the size of 2 kobolds.
Okay, that's not too bad. Okay. I'm gonna get my air. I'm going to really quickly take the rope that's holding the jug and just kind of coil it, like fix it to the root system so the jug doesn't drift
to the stem.
To the stem, yeah,
Okay.
just so that doesn't drift away.
Okay, you're just anchoring it.
Yeah, I don't want to lose it if I have to fight a fish or something. Do I feel like I can, if I'm left undisturbed, do I feel like I can get that root loose with the amount of like using the root to pull myself down, or maybe even I couldn't get a rock. Yeah, if I use the root system to get down there, and do I feel like I can get it untangled and then come back up for air? Like, do I feel like this is doable?
Yeah.
Okay.
You saw the root system of the smaller lotus. Okay. I mean, you see the root system of the bigger lotus too. It's just kind of, reaching down.
And this other one's just kind of tangled up.
Yeah.
There. Okay. Then in that case, I want to kind of look around while I'm getting my breath here, and I've fixed the rope so the jar doesn't float away. Is that thing closer now?
You look down and you do see the dark shape has kind of risen in elevation and is kind of circling around the stem.
Okay. Shoot. Okay. Is it?
It's coming closer.
It's coming closer. Crap.
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm gonna get my little dagger out and hold it ready, and then I'm holding on to the stem with my other hand. I don't have any other weapons right now. Can I tell what it is yet?
Do you want to wait for it to get closer?
I don't know what else to do. Like
I mean, it's there.
Okay.
And it hasn't left yet. So
it's probably gonna. I think I'm just gonna be ready because. Yeah, I'm holding on, so I'm kind of like not using up my energy, staying afloat. I'm holding on to the stem, and I think I want to like pull myself closer. Like maybe if I hide against this, it won't see me, and it'll go away. It'll think I got out of the water. I don't know. I'm just trying to be real still, and I've got the plant in one hand and the dagger in the other.
Okay,
ready.
Roll stealth just because you're trying to hide.
Do you want me to? Just a straight roll?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh man, that was almost really bad, but it rolled to a 19 on the die, which gives me it hesitated on a 3, and I was like, oh, and then it flipped. 24.
Okay. So this dark shape is circling, and it kind of like it is coming up, but you can tell that it sort of is going slower. And now that it's rising up, you can tell that it is a giant water beetle.
Water beetle. I've
Yeah.
never seen a beetle that big.
Yeah, it's huge. I mean, the size of two
Kobolds.
bangs.
Like 4 feet long.
Yeah.
Okay.
And yeah,
Really still.
it's looking around. It has not clocked you.
Okay.
Yeah, it did clock you when you were down in the water, so it knows you're here,
Yeah.
but it has not seen you yet.
I'm just going to continue to be really still and hope it goes away. That's what I'm working with. Yeah.
I have to let that original stealth ride, don't I?
You don't have to. I mean, it's your
I
game.
don't
If you
know.
want to, you can.
I guess I don't know rules is written, but
It's totally up
well,
to you.
it is getting closer to you. So go ahead and
Okay.
roll another stealth.
I mean, yeah, I'm floating here. So, oh, that's a lower one. It's still good. 17.
I got an 18.
Oh, no.
All right. So
I think like Bang was like maybe shifted just a little bit, like trying to keep an eye on it and ruffled the water.
yeah, you've got one hand on the stem. So like a little bit of movement there caused ripples to go out. So this thing has seen you now, and I need you to roll initiative.
Oh no.
First combat.
I know. I didn't make you fight anything.
I know.
Well, that you shaped out of it. So 12 again.
I got
A 12 a
3.
different way. Oh crap.
Wow, initiative order. The turn order is going to be really easy to keep track of.
Yeah,
'cause you go first.
Okay.
I don't even have to keep track of initiative. Wow.
Yeah.
This is cool.
Okay.
It is, I will say right now, it's about 10 feet
10 feet. Okay.
below you.
Coming towards me.
Yeah.
Okay. I can't throw my dagger in the water. So I think I'm gonna shift so like kind of my back's up against the root system there.
Okay.
And I'm gonna be ready with my dagger when it gets close enough. I'll do a held action, and as I'm watching as it gets close, I want to look for somewhere that I look like I can stick a dagger in, because I'm assuming beetle.
Okay.
It's got some like hard.
It's got that hard shell top.
Okay, so maybe like in the neck area or in a like where one of its legs are or something.
Yeah.
That's where, or the face. I don't know what its face looks like, but yeah,
I'm not actually sure either. I should pull up a picture of a water beetle. It's just a giant one of those.
Oh, I don't like that.
What?
This is the first picture that popped up in the water.
Oh yeah.
I love it.
I mean,
I love it for the visual
face,
of
the
it.
The face area might be your best bet then.
Okay, yeah.
Just based on that picture.
Ooh, okay. Which means I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go.
It's actually got a very pretty shell. It's kind of got those jewel tone hues. It's got like
pretty.
the teals and the
This
blues.
one's just like black and brown.
Yeah, that
so,
one's
okay. We're gonna say
ugly.
this one's pretty.
This one's a fantasy water beetle.
Okay, fantasy water beetles are very pretty.
Yeah. So you're basically holding an action until it gets closer. But
yeah, I'm gonna hold an action.
Since it getting closer is your trigger and not it attacking, I'm gonna go ahead and say it is now in melee range with you.
Crap.
You've sort of waited.
Made sure of that. Yeah, I'll aim like, oh crap. Yeah, I said it. I should have clarified.
Well, no, you said it's your turn. You can go. What do you mean?
Well, okay, can I clarify that? Like, I want to make sure it is going to attack me and not just like going to come up and sniff me and swim
Oh no,
away.
yeah,
It is going to, I can
looking
read the
for
situation.
A tasty snack.
Okay,
Yeah.
then yeah, when it's close enough for me to get a good jab at it, I'm going to try to jab it with my dagger and be like, not a tasty snack. And just
Okay.
hopefully if I bite first, it'll run away,
Okay.
swim away.
Swim away.
Okay, so I got to roll.
Yes, you do.
Banks.
That's how combat works.
Banks
Hey.
first attack.
For those of you who are new to D&D, this is called combat. So initiative, when I had Hids roll initiative, that was to determine who goes first and what order we go in. Although story-wise, in-game, this is all sort of happening at once. Initiative is just a way to control the chaos. And especially in games with multiple players or facing multiple opponents, you kind of need to know who's, going in what order, so we're not all shouting at once. Okay. What did you roll?
I got a 9 on the die. Yes, it is a 9. Okay. And 14 to hit.
That hits.
Oh, yay. And that is it's a little dagger. I'm just using my regular dagger, not my magical one.
Okay, that's fine.
I feel like Banks doesn't want to risk losing that. That is going to be 6 points of piercing damage.
Okay. It definitely didn't like it, but it wants to try to eat you. Still.
I'm not tasty.
It wasn't enough to scare it away.
I don't taste good, I say. Okay.
It's gonna kind of rear up, and it's not breaching the water, but it's gonna kind of go for like your torso region and try to bite you.
Oh no. Okay.
That's gonna be a nat 1.
Oh,
My very first roll in combat.
yay, me.
That will not hit.
Okay.
It is your turn. So he's getting kind of frustrated with that.
Yeah, I'll slash at him again or stab at him again with my dagger. Oh no, that's a 7.
That will miss.
My poor little die. Used up all my good rolls. Okay.
He's got a 9.
A 9's not going to hit me.
No.
Okay, I'll stab him again. Oh my gosh. That was an 8. I'm getting worse. Okay,
water fighting is hard.
It is hard. It is actually hard to do. Okay.
I got a 9 again. This is hilarious. It's our first ever combat. How many rounds has it been now? It's a good thing it didn't attack you underwater.
I know.
You would have been running out of breath.
I would have been running out of breath. I'm glad I came up. Yeah. This is round 3, I think, and I've rolled another 8.
That's not going to do it. 10?
No. Okay. I think, so I'm picturing this like Bang is trying to hold on to the plant.
Mm-hmm.
And this thing is like, because he's kind of up in the roots, it's just struggling to
get a good shot.
It can't get a good, and conversely, he can't get a good stab at it either.
Yeah.
Okay, one more. This is round 4. Oh, there we go. I got a 19 on the die, 24 to hit.
Okay, yeah, that'll do it.
D4. Ooh, that is my maximum damage of 7.
7, nice.
Stabby.
Okay.
And I'm like, don't really want to kill you, but I have to because I don't want to die either.
Okay, this thing is going to go in for a bite and got a dirty 20 to hit.
Oh, that does hit. Ouch, ouch, ouch.
Yeah.
Oh, no. So squishy.
So that is going to be 6 points of piercing damage.
Okay. Ow. Ow. It's got
It
sharp
kinda
little mandibles.
Yeah, chomps into your leg a little bit and tries to kind of tug you under, but your grip on the lotus is pretty solid.
I'm going to stab him again. Oh, that's another 19. My dice are back, baby. So that's a 24 to hit. Oh, that's only a 2. 5 points of piercing.
Okay. When you do that, this beetle releases an ink cloud.
Oh.
It's like it takes up about 10 foot
Gross,
radius.
Crap,
Then
now I can't see him.
Now, yeah, you can't see him now.
Oh, dang. Okay.
But
if we ever do this visually, you guys are going to crack up because I'm like, I've got one hand over my shoulder like I'm holding a plant and the other like, I'm like living this moment.
So you feel sort of a rush of water, kind of like he tried to attack you again, but he missed.
Okay.
And now you don't feel anything. No water currents, nothing. But this ink cloud is still here and it's heavily obscuring the water.
Okay. Crap. I kind of catch my breath and I'm waiting. And I think I'm going to wait until I feel like water kind of moving around me again. Like I'm going to wait till he's coming in for another attack.
Okay.
And then I'll make that at disadvantage, right? Because of the...
You would, yeah.
Okay.
So you wait. And you wait. And it's only seconds, but it feels like a lot longer. Maybe a minute passes. And this ink cloud slowly starts to dissipate. And you don't see the beetle anywhere.
Okay. I'm bleeding a little bit, but it's not too bad. I got scales under my armor. So, okay. I'm going to give it another little bit. I'm going to catch my breath. I'm going to kind of refocus on my thing. And I'm like,
some
still
deep breathing
exercises. Yeah. A little deep breathing. I'm still holding on to this plant. So, yeah, I think I'm trying to decide now, like, okay, I know this thing's here, but I need to get this plant and get back to camp because it will get dark because that's how time works.
Mm-hmm. I'd say this whole process has taken, like, you did a lot of investigating and it took several minutes for you to swim to the center of the lake. So, like,
I'm thinking
walk
like
here was probably an hour.
Okay.
And then you've probably been here for about 30 minutes.
Okay, cool. That's kind of where I was at.
Yeah.
I think I want to try to start unraveling from the top so that I can kind of work with it and it'll kind of like pulling it away from the main plant.
Okay.
Does it look like I can do that? Like kind of untangle
like
it?
you
and that way I
sort
could
of
be above the waters for the long,
Yeah, for as long as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can start like delicately pulling this bud away. And it the top few feet comes away fairly easily, but you kind of get to a point where you're going to have to get closer to it and start like unraveling it that way.
Okay.
By going underwater.
Okay, I'm going to do a little bit of deep breathing to kind of stretch my lungs a little bit. I don't know how this works. I don't swim, and then I'll get a breath and then use the root to pull myself down and work as for, like maybe 30, 40 seconds to get it until I start to feel that tightness.
Okay.
And then I'll go back up.
Roll sleight of hand.
Okay. That's not great. That's a 12.
Okay, so you go down to where you have to start kind of getting a closer sort of, what's the word I'm looking? You have to get closer to it.
Yeah.
And you're kind of disheartened a little bit because it gets caught on some of the bigger leaves that are coming off of this main stem. And so you take a minute, less than a minute, you take a few seconds to work on that, and then you start feeling that tightness in your chest and you have to go back up for breath.
Go back up.
So you maybe have cleared like another 3 feet.
Oh gosh. Okay.
So I'll say you've got about 10 feet of it cleared right now.
Okay. You can do this, Bang. You can do this. You got this.
And what did I say? It's 50 feet?
50 feet, yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. I'm going to gather myself for a minute, and then I'll get another good lungful and use the roots to pull myself down as quickly as I can to that area so I can spend more time working on the root.
Sleight of hand.
Oh, hey, I crit, baby. Woohoo,
Nice.
That's the first crit. Yay. Nat 20.
Okay. The rest of it, because it was a crit, you're able to get the rest of the plant, and you're kind of like, I think you're kind of like coiling it up with you as you go.
Yeah,
so
I'm kind of like letting it kind of like come loose as it's coming loose. I assume the bud is still floating. Is the bud still floating, or am I taking it with me?
Well, that's up to you. If it's still floating, you have to physically go around in circles around the thing. If you are taking it with you, you can kind of just do like a, like
I would do that. Okay. Yeah,
unwind.
that would be the smarter thing to do. Might be a little more cumbersome, but getting tangled up and swim, that would take, yeah. Okay. I'm definitely then kind of pulling it, like coiling it like a rope, like big loopy coil so I don't damage the roots.
Yeah. So you're able to take this coil and sort of reach around this bigger stem and grab it with the other hand and do it that way.
Okay.
Instead of swimming around and around
that would
in circles.
Burn up a lot of energy that I don't have. Okay.
Okay. So you're able to do that, and you get down to the root system, and you actually, now that you're here, you can see that the root system of this main lotus is, I mean, if this were in the air, it would be like an aerial root system.
Okay.
There are a few little tendrils going into the soil, the silt, whatever it is.
Yeah.
But it's like up above the.
Oh, okay. So it's kind of free.
It's kind of like
kind of
domed, and only like the very, very tips are kind of in here.
Okay.
And
that's cool.
You see, there's this little cluster, this smaller root cluster that this little smaller stem is coming from. So make one more sleight of hand check to see if you can free that little cluster.
Come on, dice, don't fail me now. That is a 14 on the die, which gives me a 21.
Okay. Yeah, you are able, you sort of start feeling a little bit of tightness in your chest, but you force yourself to focus. It hasn't been a full minute.
Okay.
You know this, you know your limits as far as how long you can hold your breath. So you just concentrate and focus on what you're doing, and the smaller root system does break free. And you now have this little lotus bud.
Okay.
With the stem and the roots and all.
Yes.
50-foot stem.
Dang, that's crazy.
On this, and it's just like a tiny little
yes, I'm picturing
inch.
it like kind of thin.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
very thin. Delicate.
Okay. I'm gonna as soon as I'm sure I've got that loose and safe, I'm gonna kind of hold the plant and everything kind of close to me without crushing it, but protectively.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm just gonna push off the bottom with my feet and kick my way up.
Okay.
Yeah. Come out the top.
Yeah, you get there it's that this. I'm sorry if this gives you anxiety,
It
but
does.
you're 5
This
feet
whole thing
from
is giving me anxiety, but it's okay.
5 feet from the surface. Your body is like, take a breath, take a breath.
Yeah.
But then you
I can see the light. Okay.
Yeah.
I start, phew. Okay. Whew. That's stressful. For our listeners, Hids has a fear of water.
Yeah.
Not a good thing. This is thanks for this first time, but no, it's good. Whew. Okay.
It's funny because we haven't recorded it yet, but the middle bit was about the importance of a zero session and knowing people's triggers.
It's okay.
And being sensitive about them.
You know what works for me. So this isn't too bad.
I knew this wasn't going to be too
this is controlled, which I can handle. It's the being tossed around and not being able to get to the surface that I do not.
It's cozy. I wouldn't have made you drown.
Yeah. No. I hope not. Well, I mean, you tried to kill me in the. No, it's good. Okay. Yeah. I'm at the top. I'm like, oh, okay. Catch my breath. And I think I'm gonna get my breath and then find my rope and pull the jug towards me, and carefully kind of
feed it in.
Yeah, kind of feed it so it coils around and the bud's in the center.
Okay.
I'm not gonna put too much water in because I don't want to. I have to get this back to shore. I don't want to drag it along the bottom of the thing. So I'll put a little water, but I'll leave air so it's still buoyant.
Okay.
And then because right before I get to swim away back to shore, I stop and I look back at the big main plant, and I think about Fizzz and how much she loves nature and everything. And I think I kind of it's a little awkward at first, but then I kind of put my hand on the big plant and I thank you. This is for a good thing. This feels a little weird talking to a plant, but Fizzz does it. Fizzz is my friend, and this is not how I talk.
Nope.
Okay. All right. Thank you, friend. I hope I didn't damage you or any way, but this is, gosh, this feels kind of weird talking to a plant, but my friend Fizzz does this, and thank you. This is going to help people, and I'm going to go now. Now I just feel awkward. Thank you. And then I'm going to
You're not sure if it's the angle of the sun has changed since you've been here, or if it's reflecting off the water. But as you talk to this plant, the soft gold glow seems to pulse a little bit. Aww. Just lets out a little pulse, and then the water stills. And you can swim back.
I'll swim back with my...
One more athletics check.
Okay. Oh, do you want me to do this just a regular check, or since I've been.
Just a regular check
Okay.
is fine.
All right. Oh gosh, it's a good thing I didn't roll at disadvantage because they're both 5s. That's a 7.
Well, so then it wouldn't have mattered.
It wouldn't have mattered. Yeah.
All right. By the time you get to shore, you are pretty exhausted.
Okay.
Not like exhausted enough to take a level of exhaustion, but
Okay.
you definitely feel like you need to take a breather before you make the trek back
I
to
think
the road.
I'll get far enough away from the shore and 5 or 10 feet away and pull make sure the jar and the plant is safe next to me, and then I'm just gonna lay on my back and whew.
You look over at the little lotus bud in this jar, and like you mentioned you didn't fill it all the way with water.
Yeah.
But right now when you look at it, it's full of water.
Oh man.
It doesn't look excuse me, it doesn't look in danger. I mean, you can't drown a lotus. They live in the water.
Yeah.
But it definitely has more water in it than what you put in it.
I'm pretty sure this is the right plant. Russell's gonna be so happy.
Russell.
I can't help it. That's my accent. Comes out funny.
Would it help if I spelt it with a Z?
Razzul? I could just say it with a Z.
That is how you pronounce it.
Okay. Yeah. That's pretty amazing.
Okay.
All right. Yeah.
So
I'll take a few minutes here to kind of, because I'm also going to have to carry this jar of water.
Yeah, it
to
is
camp.
now a heavy jar.
Okay.
It's a gallon jug. So
That's
it's
5.
It's like carrying a milk jug, but also made of glass.
Okay. Yeah.
It's about
like,
8 pounds.
Yeah, about 8 pounds. Like,
Yeah.
I was like, that's like, I think a gallon of water is 5 pounds in the container. Yeah. Okay. Okay. That's all right. I'm a tough little kobold. Okay. Yeah. I think I'll take like 10 or 15 minutes here just to kind of catch my breath and really feel like, because I've been in the water. So it's been kind of like, when you've been swimming, you come out and you're like, everything feels weird. Gravity is back. So I'll take a few minutes and just sit here and then get the jar back on my back. Does it look like I can put the cork back on it, or is it kind of like, is it overflowing? Okay.
It seems to have just filled just the container. You can definitely put the cork on it without damaging it. Like it's not, you're not going to like squish the bud or anything.
Okay.
The bud can survive underwater.
Okay. That's what I don't want to damage the plant itself.
Okay.
But I also don't want water splashing all over me as I'm walking back to camp. Okay. So I'll do that. I'll put the cork back on and, kind of just start making my way back to, Razul.
All right. So I imagine even when you were following the compass from the point that you originally climbed that first tree to the lake, that you were still making notches in trees.
I think that's just his habit.
Okay. So I won't make you roll a, survival check to navigate your way back. You make it back there. It's a little bit slower going because you've got this big jug of water on your back and you're probably trying not to jostle it.
Yeah. I'm tired.
And you're really tired. And also that thing bit your leg.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So
I probably would have taken some time to put a bandage on that and make sure. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And you have basic,
no, I don't. They're
skills.
all, it's actually, never mind. It's all at camp.
Oh yeah. You don't have your stuff. Okay.
Yeah. I'll just go. I'll just be like, all right.
I mean, you do have your bit of rope. You can tourniquet.
Yeah, maybe I'm
not going to make you bleed out.
I'll
it's
peel.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think it was that much damage. I'll take my dagger and pull off some of the rope, and not maybe just pull some fibers and kind of make just like a rough, messy bandage just to kind of put a little pressure, not like tourniquet style, but just a little pressure to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Because it is like an hour walk back to the camp.
Yeah.
You don't want to tourniquet your leg for that.
I will lose a leg.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, you're fine. You're able to do some quick field dressing, and you get back to the camp, and it's definitely going to be, it's going to need to be treated.
Yeah. But
Razul sees you come back, and he's like, "My friend, are you okay?"
Yeah, I'm probably walking really slow at this point. I got it. I got it.
You
I got
got
it.
it.
And I will like get up to him and very carefully kind of set the jar down and take my cloak off from around it and be like, and then I just kind of sit down, kind of collapse on the ground. Like,
it takes him a few seconds as he's just admiring this little lotus bud. But he does notice that, like, oh, you're injured.
It's yeah, it's not real bad. There was a really big beetle that tried to. It was big. It's like bigger than me, like two of me big, and it came at me while I was out in the middle. I'm not as good a storyteller as you are, but I had to swim out.
He's captivated
to this lake. In the middle of the lake, there's actually a really big lotus, and this one was kind of attached to it. But I didn't want to take the big one. I didn't want to cut it. I was worried about messing up the magic. And while I was trying to untangle the roots and figure everything out, this big water beetle came up, and I fought it off a little bit, and then it just made ink, and then it disappeared. I don't know if I killed it, or maybe I just heard it enough that it figured I wasn't tasty enough, worth the trouble.
I think as you are telling this story, he has gone to the wagon and is like pulling out bandages and medical supplies and things, and he's like, okay. And just like, okay, wrap your leg. So
thank you. That feels a lot better.
Yeah. Wow, Bang, this is, you truly have saved my people.
I mean, no, you did. I just helped. I mean, you said you left home and came out looking for something you weren't sure about, and I just helped a little bit.
Can you imagine me fighting a water beetle?
Well, I mean, you're a lot bigger than me.
He laughs.
You probably would have done all right.
Well, I can't thank you enough. There's anything you want from me, anything at all, is yours, and obviously a ride to wherever you're going.
Well, I mean, you've shortened my journey a good bit already, and I don't have far to get down to the bridge past there, and you probably need to get this back to your people.
I will take you to the bridge.
I'd
I can go that far.
I'd appreciate that. That's I do appreciate that. That'll give me some time to heal up a little bit and rest.
Mm-hmm. All right, so we can go a bit. There's one more little thing that I want to cover. So he gives you more food before you get back in the wagon and go, but you are able to travel the rest of the day, and you still, when you make camp that night, you do still have a full day's worth of travel. But that night at camp, Razul approaches you. He was kind of like, you were maybe dozing off. This was kind of late at night and you're still resting up. And he was sitting with the lotus blossom by the fire, just admiring it. And you doze off for a little bit, but he wakes you, and he approaches you with a smaller jar, and it's also glass, and he smiles as he kneels next to you and hands you this jar. And he says, there were offshoots of the roots that you got, and there was a smaller root system. I detached it, and it filled the jug. It filled this bottle, and I want you to have this.
Are you sure? I mean, that can help your people too.
One lotus blossom is all we need to fill our aquifers. We'll have all the water we need forever.
I think Bang gets a little emotional. Like he's just like,
I think, yeah. I mean,
that's Razul. That's. I mean, this is a treasure. I'm just a little old kobold here. I think after he's kind of speechless for a minute, and then he'll kind of take the jar and kind of look at the little small bud and the small little root system, and too bad I didn't see you in the beginning. That would have made things a lot easier. Thank you, Russell. I'm gonna cherish this. And he kind of hugs it to his chest a little bit. This might be I don't know. This is better than anything I've ever owned or seen. Or thank you. Yeah, I think he just kind of falls quiet, like he's out of words.
Razul, he'll just put a hand on your shoulder and nod and smile and say, I'll tell stories about you. My people will be so happy to hear about the little kobold who helped.
I think like the scales like around his face kind of darken a little bit. Like he's got these blue shimmery scales, and I feel like they kind of go like a darker, with the blush, like they just kind of get a little bit darker, deeper blue. And he ducks his head. He's like, well, I said I'm not a good storyteller, but I'll talk about you, and I'll talk about your people, and share what you've told me about them. And I don't know, maybe one day I'll find Fizzz and we'll come visit.
I hope you do.
Yeah, I'll make sure we do.
Well,
I'll make sure we do.
This isn't goodbye yet. We still have a day's travel ahead, so get some sleep.
All right.
I think that's where I want to end the session.
Little Bang's all like, he's having emotions. He's all,
yeah.
I think he's just going to like lay down, kind of curl around this thing and just stare at this plant like for the night, and just like, I can't. I thought the magic dagger was cool, and now I've got this. Yeah, he's a little overwhelmed. He's really also very, very tired.
Yeah. Take a long rest.
Okay.
Reset your character sheet, and we'll see where Bang's adventures go.
I'm so excited. This is really fun, and I am so excited. I know we've talked a little bit about the arcing story that's going to kind of happen.
Yeah.
But just coming into, like, I don't know what you're giving me, and you don't know what I'm going to give you. We do know kind of the big arc that this will follow.
Yeah.
But the day-to-day stuff is all, as you know, we're hearing it.
We're
reacting
as we go.
Yeah.
Well, no, we plan it.
Plan it, but sometimes the planning is just like flower ? But no, this is really fun. I love this so much. Thank you. That was an excellent adventure. I think. Do we want to pick up with the Bang in the morning next session, or do we want to see what Fizzz
Continue with Fizzz.
Weepling are up to?
Should we
Fizzz and Twig?
Oh yeah, Fizzz and Twig. Should we put a poll up in Patreon?
Hey, yeah, we could
go
do that.
either way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll do let's do a patron poll. Let's do a patron only poll.
Okay.
Go to justnews@patreon.com and vote, and we'll see which direction we go next.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Me too.
Thank you all for listening.
Yeah. Catch you next time.